And we're live.
Hey, thanks, Smith. We were just sitting around going, well, is he gonna make this thing work? I mean, what are we doing? So, hey, it's a Feel Good Friday. I'm Paul Sullivan, of course, the man next to me, Billy W. Merritt. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing spectacularly well. How many shows have we done, Smith?
This is 150.
150. We've made it.
You'd think he would understand by now when he started listening.
Yeah. Could you maybe get that on? That's on your to-do list.
I apologize.
I know you need that to-do list. So
150 shows and he still hasn't gotten it figured out.
He's trying. So when do we get started here? What do we got? Like 11:04? Is that when we hit it?
Yeah.
It was. So
full disclosure before he walks out. He was in here waiting on us.
Yeah, it was us. We were up. We this is a job. I mean, I know that the podcast is part of it. And we have a good time, but we have a real company that we run too.
We did.
So we were actually solving problems, as you call it.
Boy, did we.
Solving problems. Well, hey, tomorrow is the first day of spring. So I know here in South Georgia, it's warm a lot. I mean, you've been wearing shorts for a while.
Yep. It pollens a lot, though. It pollens a lot.
Yeah, man, it's rough.
I thought it was going to rain last night, but it pollened again.
Yeah, that pollen it's really rough. But I know that some of my northern Yankee friends, they really don't want to hear us whining about pollen. When they're having 30-degree weather and stuff like that. Yeah, they're just like, yeah, I think you can roll with pollen. I think you can deal with it.
Yeah.
So, well, hey, look, I had my Chicago Cubs shirt on. You can see I have you can kind of see it. There it is. See the shamrock? So this is like my St. Patrick's Day late shirt. I had on green. So did you on St. Patrick's. You did the show with your wife April on Winning Wednesday, which, by the way, a really good show. I was working, but I was listening. I couldn't watch it, but I was listening.
So you were able to catch some of it?
Yeah. So some good content. And by the way, you can go catch that show if you missed it. You can go watch it. And Smith, if you'll run down the laundry list of places that they can watch it.
YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, obviously Facebook, where you're probably at right now. You can go listen to it on Spreaker, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Deezer.
Are we on Apple Podcasts now?
We are on Apple Podcasts.
Hey, guys. So do you have to subscribe? Or you just go download it?
I'm honestly not totally sure.
Okay.
I didn't even know they had split that from iTunes until I started looking into it.
Well, guys, if you want to listen to the podcast, we're gonna, some of the things are visual, but a lot of the things we talk about are just audio, and you can gain a lot. I think there's some benefit to these shows.
Well, especially, again, like the other day, when I was working, a lot of times you can't sit there and just watch the screen, but you can hear it. You can hear the content, that kind of stuff. And of course, being an old radio guy, I know that audio is important. So you can roll with just the audio. So yeah, it's a great way to kind of stay informed, if you will. So all right, so we got less than 2 weeks before baseball's opening day. I'm excited because last year was the shortened season, so it's just kind of a weird thing. But I wanted to ask you. Now I know Trevor, your son, he's been playing. How's the team doing so far?
We've had a couple of rough games there. We did really well. We're 10-2 now. I think we've lost a couple in a row. So region play starts Tuesday night. So we'll see how that goes.
All right, well, I'm excited about it, and I know that. Are they still doing the? Are they still doing
Braves tickets?
Yes,
you can buy Braves tickets from. You just actually, if you'll tag, I don't know if you can, Smith, but tag April Brown Merritt, or
you buy those Braves tickets.
Yep. $15 or $17 for some really good. I think maybe play the Cubs.
No, they don't. I was bummed. I told April, I'm like, you need to get on the board or whoever that decided that. Make sure you get Cubs tickets next year. No, we had a good laugh. But no, actually, you're right. Some really good teams. I know that they're playing the Cardinals, the World Series Dodgers. So just a lot of fun. And which brings up my next point is that you can actually go to the games this year, so you don't have just empty stadiums, which was weird last year. But they're going through all these precautions because of COVID. We understand that. We're not complaining about it or anything like that, but I'm just wondering how weird it's going to be. When you go in, because we kind of got used to having masks on, in certain places, and and when you get into a large crowd, I'm kind of curious as to how that's going to look.
Yeah.
When you're going into the stadium and everybody's walking around like this.
Yeah. I'm hopeful that. All the vaccinations are going to have it where we can just open this thing up again. I think it's, I think it's a little bit overdone. So.
Yeah. So St. Patrick's Day, again, you were doing the show with April. Both of you guys had green on. I was wearing green. Smith, however, I don't think was wearing green. Are you Irish? Smith?
I think I'm like 2% Irish.
2% Irish, so he should know better.
I should.
Well, hey, I'm curious, looking for comments now for some of our viewers and people that are watching. What's the first thing? So Smith, I'll put you on the spot. What's the first thing that you think of when you think of St. Patrick's Day?
4-leaf clover.
4-leaf clover. How about you, Joe?
Savannah, just the town of Savannah.
That's a lot of people that are not from Georgia don't realize how big Savannah does St. Patrick's
They
Day.
dye the entire river green.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big deal. And of course, I know with COVID, they changed it a little bit, stuff like that. But yeah, it's always done. Have you ever been to
I
Savannah
have not.
during St. Patrick's
I
Day?
have not. I've always been working. I mean, every time my memory of St. Patrick's Day is that at a car dealership or working.
You work on St. Patrick's Day. Well, obviously with me, I know this is going to shock you. It's going to surprise you. When I think of St. Patty's Day, I think of green beer.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I think of. When I think of St. Patty's Day, I think of green beer. And then second, I guess, would be the leprechauns.
The leprechaun.
A leprechaun. That'd be, my second thing that I would like pop up. I'm surprised you didn't say pot of gold.
Who do you think? No, I didn't even
Pot of Bitcoin.
Didn't even cross my mind. I could talk about Bitcoin if you want to. Who do you think of when you think of a leprechaun? Don't answer that. Don't answer that. Now see,
It's a running gag everywhere I work.
and I was not even thinking about him.
Man, see, if you would have brought that up earlier, if we actually did show prep, but we don't.
Yes.
If you would have brought that up, we could have had like Jamie Lopez could have photoshopped something
Yeah.
and made him one. He could have made it happen.
I have a very good friend that's I'm probably already said too much, but April, if you're watching, who do you think of when I say the word leprechaun? She's not going to answer that. And it's not you, Smith. So
Thank you.
Well, of course, the other thing with St. Patty's Day, so it just rolls right into is with being Irish, the biggest, most well-known Irish beer, our beer of the week, is Guinness.
the stout.
It's Guinness. Now I've got the stout, and what I purposely did, because there's actually two different versions. So the original version is the Guinness Extra Stout, and it's a lot stronger. It's a lot thicker, and it's a little more potent in flavor too. So I got, I don't want to call it Guinness Light, but this is the lighter version.
Is it really?
Yeah. So I mean, it's the draught stout, because the regular stout that you buy is like 6.5%.
Is that how you say it? Drought?
Draught, yeah, or draught.
I thought that was draft.
Draught. Yeah.
Huh.
Like it's draught
Oh, really?
from the draft.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean,
We should have a leprechaun contest. I'm sorry.
who knows? Is it draft? Is it draught? Is it drought? It's stout? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm just going to stick with stout. But anyway, this is actually a bit unusual because a lot of people, when they think of stout, like I know Smith, he's not a big beer drinker. Although that one day when he said it,
Boy.
man, he chugged that
Down,
sucker.
didn't he?
Boy, he took a big old gulp. But I know you're not a big beer drinker. But you think of stout, you think of like heavy, dark, right? Heavy, dark beer. And even though this is black, now the bottle's black, by the way, so don't be confused. The actual bottle itself is black, but it's black inside the bottle. I mean, it's a dark beer, but don't let the dark color fool you, because again, this version they put some nitrogen in it, and they kind of mix it a little bit differently. And the beauty of it is, again, not only is it a little bit lighter, it's a little thinner, if you will. So when you drink it, it's a little bit thinner. But the beauty of it is that have you ever tried to actually pour a Guinness into a glass?
Maybe once or twice. I've ordered them and watched it. Well, not a bottle. No, I haven't.
Yeah, or off the tap.
I
mean, it's like truly an art. You got to like tilt it a certain way, and it's like this whole thing, and it gives you a whole bunch of foam and head on the top, and it's just such a pain. Where this, all you do is open it.
Yeah.
I mean, they literally made this to drink straight out of the bottle, so it's a pretty cool thing.
Even though it has nitrogen in it.
Yeah.
Shouldn't that open up a little bit, get the nitrogen out? Isn't it better to pour it into a glass?
No. I honestly got. I mean, this particular one, they designed it because again, you're thinking like the regular one.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely right. Pour it in the glass. They tell you that. This one, when they designed this, they made it straight from the bottle because they understood that so many people didn't pour beers in the bottle into glasses, and on the go, things like that. So they made this, this Guinness draught, however you say it, stout, so that you can drink it straight out of the bottle. So pop that top, my friend, for our beer of the week. And again, by the way, this one actually does come in a 6-pack, so it's not a 4-pack, because again, it's a lighter one. It's only 4.2% alcohol. So It's actually real easy, real easy drinking.
So Smith obviously likes the outdoors. He's got our little campfire back there.
Right. Cheers.
He's got our campfire. That's an RV over there. What's your thoughts on RVing?
RVing. I think that they're very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So, but at the same time, I have a friend of mine lives up in Illinois. They love RVing and like going to campgrounds and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I can see the fun in just kind of, you know, going wherever you want to,
yeah.
and, you know, the freedom of that. And so that kind of thing, I like that. I'm not real fond of the showers. They're about this big,
yeah.
You know, so it's like you can barely fit your body in there, you know. So I'm not real fond of that. And I probably wouldn't. I have never had to do this and wouldn't want to. But I wouldn't be fond of having to do that whole waste emptying thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, have you done that?
I'm sure I have. Yeah.
You can't remember? I'm pretty sure if I ever had to do that, I would remember it.
Well, you see, yes, I have done that. My stepfather he had a septic tank business, so I mean, I did stuff like that all the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Me and Hank Youngblood.
Yeah.
Me and Hank Youngblood and I, we borrowed his backhoe and went and got this. We were doing things. We got this job at the trailer park repairing septic tank systems.
Oh man.
Yeah. And we actually, you know, big concrete slab on top that covers it up.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, you slide that thing around, you have to fix the problem, and then that thing collapsed and fell in the water.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. We did whatever it took back in the day.
Well, I tell you that, I bet you got some stories. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Yeah, just kind of, you know, Smith, I can't even imagine.
You didn't know you were going to talk about poo today, did you?
Yeah, exactly. We didn't think we were going there. I mean, it's about as dark. You know. By the way, I know you're a big coffee drinker. And do you drink your coffee black?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so that has a lot of coffee and roasted malts and stuff like that flavoring in it.
You know, back in January, I had the COVID, and I don't taste any coffee at all in that.
Really?
Yep, I can barely taste it.
Well, it's funny that you said because you had the COVID, because you've been saying you have that kind of COVID fog thing.
I've had the fog
going on. I'm wondering. I read this last night, and the first person I thought it was you. I read that there was a study that showed that memory loss is caused by stress. So if you have a bad memory, that apparently, you know, you have a stressful life or you've been going through something stressful. So Billy, have you been going through something stressful?
You know, I've had some stress, but I will say, I know you're saying that we have been through a lot of stress. We have. I mean, 2020 the end of 2020 was very stressful, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But man, all in all, it was way more rewarding and fun than stressful.
Oh no, we had a great 2020.
You know,
I mean, overall, like you said, you know, everybody's gonna have hiccups and speed bumps, things like that. But 2020 overall, you know, for our business was really, did really well. Personally, I had a good year. So did you?
Personally, 2020 was amazing. 2021's been great. I mean, I got no complaints. Sure, there's stress involved, but if there's not stress, you're just not doing anything. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, that's why like I said, I was reading that. I knew I had to bring it up, kind of give you a hard time.
Yeah.
So relax, man.
Yeah.
Relax a little bit.
I am relaxed. I'm starting to relax. I'm entering the next phase of my, I guess, career.
Okay.
I'm entering the next phase, and it is going to be a more chill Billy.
I'm wondering if Smith, is he a little stressed?
He's stressed, that guy. Yeah.
I mean, I will share this. He's supposed to get off work at 4:30 in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. And he knows where I'm going because I've given him such a hard time. I came in, this is a couple weeks ago, I came in at 4:27, 3 minutes before he was supposed to go home, asking him to do some stuff. And he lost it, man. I mean, he is so chill most of the time. He just snapped. He had just had a day. He called me all kinds of, no, he didn't call me all kinds of, but he was just like, oh, man, it's 4:27. He was just like, he was so ready to go because he has that routine. You know, he gets off work, he goes and rides his bike, you know, and whatever else he does, his other extracurricular things. We'll just say that.
Ask him what I think about is getting off at 4 schedule.
Yeah. What's up with that? What do you think about getting off at 4:30, Billy?
Well, I said, you know what? We're going to start doing the show at 7 p.m.
Yeah, we just bounce around every other day.
Now I know you did a show last night at 7:00, right? Or was it 7 or 7:30?
7. Well, it ended up about 7:18. We had some technical difficulties we had to work through, but
Okay.
we had Louie Heron on there.
I was just gonna say so. So tell us a little bit about that show.
Man, Louie is a he grew up in Miami. He had some challenges early on. Big football player, played football in college and things, and then ended up selling cars. Like most people, that wasn't his goal to sell cars. Started as a salesperson, became a sales manager, ended up owning 2 Toyota dealerships, a Chrysler Dodge Jeep store. He wrote a book. He wrote this book, Driven by Fire. We had him on the show last night. We actually did some events for Louie at his Toyota store or his Chrysler Dodge Jeep store in Georgia.
Okay.
And then he sold those, moved to South Florida, moved to Jacksonville, then moved to South Florida, and is running one of the biggest Honda stores in South Florida. Super guy. He has this program called Sales to CEO. So there's people that are salespeople like me that want to do more, want a bigger career, and he teaches step by step how to go from sales to sales manager to general manager to dealer principal, every aspect along the way. Super, super talented guy, super smart, and I learned a lot. I'm just so glad that he considers me a friend.
So I know that Smith was on the ball, and he actually pulled that up.
Mm-hmm.
Pulled up the graphic. That 7 is it every Thursday?
Yes, Tuesday and Thursday. We do the clubhouse thing on Tuesday. I don't know
Okay.
if you've done the clubhouse thing yet or not.
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah, it's the next little fad, I think.
Dude, I mean, Smith that's why I just tell him to do the laundry list of all the things they can. I haven't even heard of half of those.
Yeah.
I'm just the old guy. I'm the old guy that brings beer in. That's my job. Keep the peace and bring in beer.
So let me tell you something cool about Sales to CEO with Louie here. It would be a perfect. I'd love to have he and his wife on Winning Together on Wednesday because he is actually the co-owner of Sales to CEO. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe his wife is the one who had the idea. Said, "Hey, you have these skills, you have this specialized knowledge. Why don't we do this?" So I think she might actually own Sales to CEO, and that's pretty cool.
That's pretty. No, I mean that would be a great idea to have them on the show.
Yep.
Smith will put that on him because he's got so much stress already.
Yeah.
So what's a little more stress? Just put that on him.
Boy, he's got it tough, doesn't he?
He does. Although you should hear some of the other ninjas, that are working events stuff like that. They're like, Smith's got the easiest dang job, man. He just goes in there like films, and that's all he does. But we know.
Let's speak to that. Let's speak to that for a second, okay? A lot of people they see somebody else enjoying something good. We'll call it the good life or the easy job, the pie job, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, I want that job. I want that job. I want to do what you do. But
I want to do what you do.
Okay. So we'll use that as you want to do it this. Do you want to do what he did? Do you want to spend years and years and years chasing diving down every rabbit hole to learn all the ins and outs, all the technical stuff that would drive me in minutia, that would drive me insane trying to do that, so that you have the skills where you could do what he did. Everybody wants to do what someone else does, but they don't want to do what that person did. Did is what.
That's a whole lot of didn't do's.
It is, but do it. Do you want? A lot of people say, Billy, you're lucky. Billy, I want to do what you do. Whatever. You don't want to do what I did to get it.
Septic tanks. I don't think you want to do that. You don't want to go there. Be your own person. You don't want to be Billy Merritt. I'm telling you. You're right, though. They want what you have now. They don't want to go through all the steps, all that kind of stuff. Well, hey, keeping the whole Irish theme, the classic rock revisit. By the way, I thought about that. I thought a lot about it. I had a lot of time on my hands over the weekend, so that's why I put all this together. So I did a really good job of trying to make this an Irish theme, but I didn't remember the making Smith a leprechaun. Man, I really wish I would have thought of that. So the classic rock revisit this week, 1987. How old were you in 1987?
In 87, I was 13.
Okay. So yeah, you remember this one. U2, the album The Joshua Tree.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know the Joshua Tree, I don't want you to go on that tangent because I know that means a lot to you, and plants talk to you, and all that. We've heard all that stuff before. So, but
I guarantee you that's why they did it.
the album The Joshua Tree from 1987 from the band U2 was huge. I mean, even as a 13-year-old, you remember that record. well, I say record, CD, now it's download, all that kind of stuff. But
You'd have to give me a multiple choice. I can't tell you what the Joshua Tree was.
With or Without You, the song With or Without You, Where the Streets Have No Name. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. All three of those gigantic singles. I mean, just gigantic singles. I mean, and this album, they were kind of up and comers, if you will. I mean, they had some success like in '83 and '85. But man, when this thing hit in '87, I mean, it won the Grammy Award, for Album of the Year. But I mean, it really kind of catapulted them where they weren't just a rock band. Mm-hmm. They really became rock gods, if you will, with that album, because it was real. They said it was influenced by the American dream. Mm-hmm. I mean, it had. They were talking about a lot of the American icons that they were thinking about, and how Americans had so much opportunity, which is true.
It is, absolutely.
So a lot of inspirational songwriting, and just what a great band. I mean, you look at each guy individually. Bono has such a great voice. I mean, just get the Edge, the drummer, Mullins. I mean, Mullins, the drummer, Edge, the guitarist. I mean, just all four of those guys are just fantastic musicians, which I know Smith can.
Is U2 not the same people as the Police?
Correct. They are not the same.
They are not?
They are not the same.
So I thought when Bono's not on there?
No, that's Sting.
That's Sting?
Sting is with the Police. Bono's with U2.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry. That's okay. Now Smith.
He's got stress going on. So
I never knew. I'm not.
I know.
I'm not into it like you
Smith
guys.
knows though.
Well, he was making fun of me, Smith, about my talking plants. Why don't you? I guarantee you have an opinion about what the Joshua Tree was really about, and it wasn't about the American dream.
I can't say I do have a strong opinion about it.
Right.
I don't know enough to talk about it.
1987, the Joshua Tree. Yeah, they were talking. There's more to it than the American dream.
I don't doubt it.
Really? You're gonna back off?
No.
I was speculating when I thought he would know more about it. I was speculating. He was. How old were you in '87?
He was like one.
-5.
-5. Holy cow! I thought he was like 1.
Born in '92.
Yes.
Wow. Well, if you look in the corner, you can see this tiny little picture of the album. If you look in the corner of the screen, it's tiny, tiny thing. Even though I asked him to make it bigger, but it's a tiny picture that you can see right there. It's a teeny tiny little picture of the album cover. But no, in all seriousness, this thing was just a monster. So again, I mean, just solid musicianship, great songwriting, and they really just kind of became like rock gods, and their whole inspiration again for the album, the American Dream and other things too. But that brought up, I started thinking about that. So you read tons of books, and you have a lot of different things. But I was curious in your opinion, like, where do you get inspiration from?
Okay, so again, I am at a new pivotal moment. Okay. So, but I get inspiration from many places. The greats. When I say the greats, like the classics, I like to read biographies of people that made a mark on history, like Leonardo da Vinci, people like that. But people who've already done, I do not take advice from someone who hasn't already done what I have, what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
But people who wrote those, I hate to use the word self-help, but I guess it is self.
I mean, I call them motivational, inspirational.
There's a difference between motivation and inspiration.
Yeah.
Motivation is fleeting. Motivation can be gone in just a little while. Inspiration, if something really inspires you, then there's more meaning in it.
Okay. Something
with meaning, really. And here's. Okay, you want to go deep with me?
Let's go deep.
Okay. When you listen to someone who inspires you, it's generally not because they taught you something new. It's because they remind you of something that you know to be true. Okay. So, John C. Maxwell, one of the great leaders, right? He teaches on leadership. He's an amazing teacher. He's an amazing leader. He inspires you because he reminds you of things that we know to be true. If you really want to lead people, you have to show them you care about them. You have to be worth following. You know, so there you and it just reminds you that we know these things. We know that integrity and honesty and helping and caring are important. So when we see somebody who tells you that in a way that reminds you, like, you know what, that's important.
Right.
Then that's all it is. It's just being reminded of something you already know. You know, and one of my mentors at one time, he was a big mentor, Grant. When I first found him on YouTube, he was saying things that I felt for a long time that nobody else was talking about. You know, about closing and not selling, things like that. And sometimes when you find out later that everybody's not out all they were cracked up to be or all they presented themselves, that's disappointing. Mm-hmm. So what I try to do now is find, you like Louie Heron, you know, to find friends who you know have a pure heart that's really wanting to help and make a difference and make someone better.
Yeah.
That's the people that I get real inspiration from, not the person that's sitting on top acting as if they are wanting to help people. You know, if you're constantly running around talking about you wanting to help people, you're probably trying to help yourself. You know, you're trying to appeal. And when someone changes, there's nothing wrong with changing. Nothing wrong with changing. We evolve, we adapt, we get better. But when you're changing to try to appeal to your audience just to get attention as a commodity, not that I'm not being guilty of that. I'm just saying sometimes we lose our way. Right. And being genuine and really trying to help and making a difference for the sake of making a difference, not for attention, that's who I get inspiration from.
What would be, you know, I mean, I know you have a bunch of them, but just out of curiosity, just one that's on the top of your mind, so don't think too hard on it. What would be one of your inspirational quotes that you like?
Don't think too hard. One of my most inspirational quotes. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to care what you know until they know that you care.
Who said that?
Not sure.
Sorry, so say it again.
No one is going to care what you know until they know that you care.
That's pretty good. I like that.
I heard it from John C. Maxwell. I'm not going to say that he created it, but
sure.
he
relayed it to you.
By the way, there's nothing new in the universe.
No, yeah, I mean, everything's been done. Or at least it seems like, except for Smith's music. That's never been done. Yeah, and it's all, especially because when you think about it, Smith, not only does he have, we'll call it unusual musical taste, I guess, mm-hmm. but he's the only person I know that has music inspired by anime.
There's a lot of them. He's just the only person you know personally.
So, see, that's what I mean.
He's
the only person I know that has music inspired by anime.
There's a whole planet full of people
out there on the internet.
Yeah. Man, I went to.
Out there on the internet.
We were. Where were we? Oh, I know where we were. Why were we there? April and I were in Atlanta. Something was going on at the Congress Center. I don't even think it was the Mercedes yet. I don't think it was Mercedes-Benz Stadium yet. Anyway, people, they were really like everywhere. People with those animals. I don't know if that's anime or whatever. They had their animals dressed as animals. They called them
furries.
The furries. Have you ever seen the furries?
No, I
They're
have not.
A real thing.
The furries.
They're a real thing. They walk around with animal suits on, acting like animals, and they're taking it very, very seriously.
Wow. All right, Smith, I'm going to put you on the spot since Billy brought that weird topic up, and you were familiar with it. If you had to be a furry, what would you be?
Ooh,
what animal would you be if you were a furry?
A lion.
A lion.
That's got to be something manly at least.
That's a good call. That's a good call. Well, I was actually, you'll be proud of me. I know you're always talking about reading books and all that kind of stuff. And I tell you all the time, like, I'm not a big reader. It doesn't keep my attention. I mean, I've tried it. I've tried reading books and I've read some, but I really struggle, with reading books because it just tends to, my mind drifts a lot. So I have to go back and reread and all that kind of stuff. And it just seems time consuming. So I watch videos a lot more than I do books. Than I read books.
I struggle too, but I went and got me some glasses from Murphy Eye Care.
There you go.
And now.
Yeah, they're our sponsor.
Yeah.
Since you give them a plug, let's just make them a
sponsor.
sponsor.
Kevin with Murphy Eye Care. You can call in your prescriptions and they'll fill them based on what your doctor and whatever state you live in
There you go. And
prescribes.
send the check to Billy Merritt Marketing or Paul Sullivan, one or the other. It doesn't matter to me. But so anyway, I watch a lot of videos, and not the long ones because again they kind of tend to get boring. Even the ones that are very moving, because I have watched some of the like Tony Robbins. He's like a giant. He's really a giant.
Mm-hmm.
He's really tall, but he's a giant as far as motivational, inspirational, that type of thing.
He doesn't consider himself a motivator. People find motivation in what he does, but he doesn't consider himself a motivational speaker because he considers himself someone who is going to give you the tools to educate you on what you're doing wrong,
okay,
and how to fix it. So it's not a matter of motivation.
So you went to go see Tony Robbins at one of his seminars.
Front row. He spat on me.
Well, he should have been wearing a mask. Oh, no. But on a scale of
if he
1 to
had
10,
COVID, he'd have given about 1,000 people COVID.
On a scale of 1 to 10 of that seminar that you attended, what would you rate it?
8.
Okay. So in your opinion, since you gave him an 8, what do you think was missing, or where were things that he could have improved on? In your opinion.
So look, I'm not being critical. I'm just giving my opinion. 8's a lot. I almost said 9,
mm-hmm.
but I didn't. So I guess everyone goes for different reasons. And to go and you have to have 3 days of content. We're trying to come up with an hour of content for our show, and for it to still have meaning to somebody. Hopefully, it has meaning to the people that are watching. Hopefully, we can give some type of value if it's nothing but entertainment. Well, that's not an entertainment thing, right?
Right.
So you have to have other people talking. Man, they did a great job. And that's why it's an 8. They did a great job trying to get people moving, trying to get people to understand that our body language matters, and how you sit and stand and walk and move matters. They try to get you moving. They try to keep you active and engaged for 6-8 hours a day. Mm-hmm. That's tough. So I probably should have given him a 9 for it. But here's the thing: a lot of it's filler.
Yeah.
A lot of it's filler. And what does it? Being critical of myself now. What does it say about someone that has to go sit in a stadium with 1,000 people to get their shit together?
Well, no. See, actually, I would disagree.
Okay.
I think that it says that each and every one of those people that went to there, are trying to get their shit together.
Yeah.
So I actually give them credit.
Yeah.
So people that were attending that seminar were trying to improve in some way, shape, or form, whether it was business, whether it was personal, whether it was religion, with their beliefs, all that kind of thing. I mean, you don't just go to one of those seminars, because somebody goes, "Hey, what do you do? Let's go here." I mean, right. It's not like going to a movie.
And I did come back with actually, I learned some things there. I'm 8. I was trying to be generous but accurate. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? 8's really strong. Maybe they need a 9, because I definitely couldn't do it. I definitely couldn't do it. But then some of the speakers are just there to promote themselves.
Yeah, that I'll give you. I mean, obviously there are plenty of those people. What was this quote you just said about the care thing? Say it again.
No one's going to know. No one's going to care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah, and if you don't care, a lot of people can tell.
Yeah. They can, but a lot of people there's
a lot of sheep.
People are fooled, man. Yeah. People are fooled.
Well, and when you said it was an 8, I was going to bring up the fact that I'll bet you that the large majority of people that were at that seminar, it was probably their first time. So it takes a lot for people to go and attend those. Mm-hmm. So you're pretty well read. I mean, you say that you've read a lot of books and you read all the time. Mm-hmm. So you're probably much farther along when it comes to get your shit together, as you put it, than most.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of people attend, they're looking, even though you say that he's not motivational, they're looking for that motivation.
They are.
They are. They're trying to make themselves feel better, trying to get motivated. And I mean, I'll be honest, that's what I do. I mean, when I'm watching videos, Tony Robbins videos on YouTube, stuff like that, I'll get into these, I call them funks. I'll just get into like a mental kind of funk, where it's not, like some people are like, oh, I get so depressed. Now, me personally, I don't call it depression. You know, I mean, I know that depression is real, and you know, some people suffer from it. But I don't call it depression. I just call it a funk. And I just kind of get, you know, kind of just weighed down a little bit, not really feeling all that great. So I use that kind of stuff to try to, you know, just boost me, give me that little shot. Kind of how Smith drinks, you know, Monster drinks, you know, the energy drinks and stuff like that. You know, I do that to kind of just give me the pick.
Well, our minds, we start getting influenced by negative things and by bad information, and we do need to go seek out that good information when they're in that. When you're in your element and when you're really tuned in to that source, you're going to speak a certain way, you're going to say a certain way, you're going to reach people in a much more effective way. So that's what's so beautiful about videos and YouTube is you can go find speeches, you know, or someone. Yeah. You can find someone that's tuned in at the time that's putting that good information out there. And yeah, I could go deep down the rabbit hole and talk about how they're tuned into the universe and their vibration is at a higher rate and they're operating at a higher level than.
Is that how you hear the plants?
That's very close. That's how you get there. That's the beginning. You definitely have to be in that.
That's
vibration.
The beginning?
Yes, you can't just.
So I'm like further behind than the beginning.
Of course you are.
So I'm like pre-beginning.
Yeah.
I'm way over here in the pre-beginning.
No, you're at the beginning because if you're actually seeking out that good information and of course we all do it because we like the way it makes us feel. That's why people drink. That's why people go to church. That's why people, you know, find friendship. They like the way people make them feel. Right. In most cases, if you're, you know, a reasonable person.
So what would be a good book? I mean, because, you know, again, you've read so many of them. What would be a good book that you would recommend, let's say for somebody, you know, for a beginner, if you will, so somebody to kind of get started in their path to success or their path to making themselves feel good? You know, I mean, what would be one that you'd recommend?
Okay, I'm going to answer it, but I don't want you to read a book, but we do that.
Can we use that clip? Can we use that Billy saying, I don't want you to read a book?
I don't want you to read that book to make yourself feel better, right? Sure, feeling better is a byproduct of it, but you should read a book to improve yourself, to make things better, or to be more productive, or to help you find meaning. The purpose of life or the goal of life shouldn't be to be happy. If you can be happy, that's wonderful. But the purpose of life should be to find meaning and do something meaningful.
Wow, that was
Driven by Fire talks about it a little bit.
Yeah, he does. Because I want to open it up. I saw that part. So.
Yeah. So, but the purpose of life is to find meaning, according to Billy, and do something meaningful. And there's people out there that agree with me, people that I admire that agree with that. Happiness is a byproduct, and even if you're doing something very meaningful, that doesn't mean you're happy. I mean, it wasn't. They weren't happy. The people that helped us win World War II were not happy to be blowing up and killing people, and you know, but they did something very important, and very meaningful. So, to answer your question, hopefully it'll make you feel better too. But the 23 irrefutable laws of leadership, even if you don't see yourself as a leader, maybe it'll help you lead yourself. John C. Maxwell, definitely one of the most helpful books that I've ever read. And if I stay, you know, I read that book over and over and over. And if I'm in the middle of reading it over and over and over, when I come to work, I treat people better. I'm more effective. I'm a better leader, and I get more done.
That's a good point.
And some of the things in there, the 23 irrefutable laws, I struggle with a lot of them. So it's important, in my opinion, according to Billy, to work on the things that you're not good at if it will make you a better person.
I think that should be the title of your next book.
Really?
According to Billy.
According to Billy. That's actually the name of my blog. I haven't written in a while, but I think you can still go to accordingtobilly.com.
According to Billy.
According to Billy.
I like that. Well, you know, something else, when you're talking about, you know, you choose the books that you read, the people that you're friends with, all that kind of stuff, you're looking for the way things make you feel, you know? So you talk a lot about being positive. I mean, in fact, our business, you know, in your book, I mean, the 20 rules of text message selling, you talk about it, you know, having a great attitude. I mean, that's one of the rules. And if you don't have that great attitude, you don't share that positivity, you know, it tends to affect you in ways that, you probably don't like.
No.
Some people don't even realize it. For example, Jordan Peach,
Mhm.
who did a comment,
Mhm.
Cubs suck. You suck. no, see, that's what I'm saying. You're throwing out the negativity, Jordan. Come on. This is Feel Good Friday. Why are you doing that?
You know who? And you know who would never say something like that would be John C. Maxwell, or Louie Heron, right?
Louie Heron would never say the Cubs suck.
And
He would never say that.
And Smith, would you agree that when we have people on, when we have guests on, and they have a positive attitude and they're putting positive things out? For instance, last night we were experiencing some difficulty getting some technical difficulty getting the show to come on, right? You heard nothing but, hey man, I'm about there, I got it. Just positive reinforcements. And it's no coincidence that super successful people have a good outlook, a positive outlook, even when they're not feeling it. You have to turn on, and eventually, if you start, when you turn on, it'll come to you. It'll catch back up with you. Positivity will.
I want you to give that speech, if you will, or that little phrase at 4:27.
I know.
In the afternoon.
I smile every time. I'm like, no. You don't want to do it? Do it anyway.
Giving Smith a really hard time.
Do it
No,
anyway.
I know he does a lot of stuff, quote unquote, after hours or in off hours, all that kind of thing. So just giving him a hard time. But well, one of the quotes that actually, I didn't read it, but it was in the video. I was watching Jim Rohn, who actually I was not aware of Jim Rohn until I started working with you. And you told me about him, so I started reading a little bit and watch. I watch a lot more videos. Again, I'm not gonna play around like I read a bunch. I just don't. But I watch a lot of the videos. So Jim Rohn, I was listening to one of them today on YouTube, and one statement or one quote or whatever that he said that really kind of stuck out was, "Don't mistake movement for achievement."
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about how you can keep yourself busy. Smith. You can keep yourself busy, but if you don't actually do something with the time that you spent, if you haven't accomplished anything, if you haven't achieved anything, then what he used was a figure eight. He just said, you can stay in constant movement doing a figure eight, but you're not really getting anywhere.
Right. It's right back to production. If you're not being productive, then who cares? It's always about production. If you're not producing, then you're not helping anybody.
Exactly. No, but there's an awful lot of people.
Well, you don't.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the very first thing I wrote before he said that was busy versus productive.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
That's it.
It's the truth. There are so many people that they just kind of, I've been working so much, I've been working so hard, I'm so busy, but what are you accomplishing? So again, being busy is just, you don't want to be lazy. So you have to do work. So you have to work hard, to get things done. But at the same time, if you're just kind of, I'm staying busy with, kind of meaningless things, then you're not really getting anywhere. You're not really accomplishing anything. So
right. I knew it. Well, I was racking my brain while we were talking. Synchronicity. This conversation.
That was a Police album, by the way, with Sting. It was actually the name of an album. Synchronicity. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh man, this is getting too wild. Are you serious?
I'm totally serious. Synchronicity. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Sting had an album called Synchronicity.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew that. But I talk about
all coming together.
Oh yeah, but I talk about synchronicity all the time, and here's synchronicity. We have synchronicity every show. Okay, now previous to the conversation I had last night, I don't know that I've talked about Jim Rohn to anyone since maybe I mentioned to you, and that had to be almost 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 years, no Jim Rohn. I have not listened to Jim Rohn. I had not talked about Jim Rohn. Last night, I was talking to Ken Walls, and we were talking, and like 2 or 3 people were texting him, and then he was getting a call, but he stayed on the phone with me. Appreciate that. But Jim Rohn's business partner was calling him last night. He does some work for him, and it's like in the beginning, Jim Rohn was not a very good business person. He was obviously a great speaker, motivator, right? So this guy saw Jim Rohn, saw his material, and approached him and said, "Hey, I can make you rich." And he's like, Well, that sounds interesting. That was his, so anyway, we were talking about Jim Rohn last night. Jim Rohn's business partner called Ken Walls, and then on today's show, you mentioned Jim Rohn, and you let me know that synchronicity. Yeah,
so synchronicity,
just right there.
That's what it all is.
That's that vibration.
There it
We're
is.
gonna be talking plants before
Pretty soon.
Hey,
Smith. He already does.
If I can, I'll get a
Well,
plant.
actually, plants talk to him.
I can make a plant talk to Paul too.
Yeah, I mean, anybody can talk to plants, but having plants talk to them. Now that's,
Take a trip with me to Colorado.
That's right. There's the trick right
They'll
there.
be talking to you.
Smoke them if you got them. That's all I'm
A great album by Parkway Drive.
saying. There it is. And by the way, Jordan put his Jordan Peach, after his not the Cubs suck comment. Oh, there it is. Okay, so he's being kind. So he just having some fun. I know he was just picking on me. So no, Jordan, he's one of our former employees who went. He's actually selling cars now.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
So he's doing well with his.
We got a guy that's selling cars down in Jacksonville that worked for us. We trained him up.
Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Mhm.
Yep. Kelly Mitchell. Kelly.
By the way, since Jordan, since he was nice enough to watch and comment or whatever, he's got an upcoming baby boy, I believe it is. Is it a boy? I think he's got an upcoming baby boy. They did the whole release thing or whatever.
I want to give a pitch for
Pitch it.
the art of text message selling, and the real powerful.
Here comes the pitch.
Look at there. The real powerful.
I didn't realize that was going to cover the other.
That's fine.
That's okay.
Always adjusting.
Let me tell you,
Ooh, there I am.
let me tell you how powerful. Put it back up there.
You got it.
Let me tell you how powerful the information in the art of text message selling is. It'll even cover up Paul and all his nonsense. But I'm trying to be serious. Let me tell you how powerful it is, Paul. All right, take it down, Smith, so he'll stop.
Okay. This right here.
Crack Eddie up.
Let me tell you how powerful the information in the art of text message selling is. Like if you'll adopt the information in there, you can be a very successful salesperson.
Right.
Let me tell you some of the people that the information in there has trained that are being successful. Is some of the best training material in sales, period.
Mhm.
You just said Mitchell Kelly. You just said Jordan Peach out there. Think of all the salespeople that have worked here that are selling or closing or managing in car dealerships right now.
It's quite a few.
Right?
Mhm.
In Douglas, we had one dealership that hired 3 of our people,
Mhm.
and one of them went on to work with Matt Pridemore now,
Mhm.
selling or managing, something there. All of the dealerships, I mean, we're talking hundreds, if not thousands of people that have been very successful dominating in sales because of the information that they got from the author of the text message stuff.
No, I mean, and you're not just tooting your own horn either. I mean, these are legit stats. I mean, we're not just like, oh, Billy's such a great guy. He wrote this book and he's so great. I mean, it's for real. Because like you said, we've sent books all over the country. You've sold them to people out of the country.
Had a dealer yesterday request 20 books. Jose, a dealer, he signed up a dealer for one of our events.
Mhm.
They requested 20 books. I said, you know what? I'll ship them 20 books. Let's also give them logins, find out the email address of everyone that works there. All 20 of those people, we'll give them a login to the art of text message selling on the Digital BDC Academy, which is also some very good information there.
Perfect. I mean, but it really is. I mean, these are legit sales tools, not like you said, not just for car dealerships.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're in sales, just in general, I mean, sales has changed dramatically.
Mhm.
I mean, think about when you first got working, when you first started selling in car sales. Because so when you first got into car sales, what was something that one of the guys that had been around, the old dog, whatever you want to call it, the guy with all the experience, what was something that he told you that was really outdated, but he kept doing?
Let's call it what it is. Something that was taught and told to me by them that was just stupid.
Yeah.
And that's don't give a price over the phone.
Yeah. I mean, it is. That's stupid. I mean, that's just a stupid comment.
People still try to do that today.
Yeah, I mean, because
Get them
people.
in. You
Yeah.
gotta get them in. You can't sell a car over the phone. And then when text came out, you can't sell cars through text. That's just ridiculous. They won't have any reason to come see you. And then get off of Facebook and start working. You dumbass.
That was a classic. Get off Facebook, start working. I love that one. That's basically how this business became a business. It was working on Facebook. Now everything is well, it's still big. I mean, again, we have the Digital platform. We have the book. The audio, the video training that's available. But it's all still based around Facebook.
Yes.
That's how we got started. That's how we're helping car dealerships everywhere. Which reminds me, by the way, some of our road warriors. Joey's out. He's up in Kentucky, working hard over there. Chad's down in Florida. I don't know which one got the better deal on that. I'm just saying.
I'd rather be where Chad is.
Joey, however, I got to give props to Joey and to Chad. They do such a great job. So, again, when you have a strong closer, it really changes the game. For a car dealership.
Hey, I don't know if Kirk's watching or not. I don't know if Kirk's working this week, but
I think he's off this week.
Last 2 or 3 places Kirk went,
he's killed it.
We'll do it again if Kirk can come.
Mm-hmm.
So that means a lot.
Yeah, he's not out of the park. Well, and it does. I mean, you can explain it better than I can. What kind of an impact will a closer make when they get there? What's the biggest thing, and how do they impact the sale?
Just total buy-in, and if and nobody does this like they should, unless I just make them, but like the balloons and setting the atmosphere properly, if they did that, it would be even more so. And we do a good job at it. But if we went over the top, but it takes a couple of hours every morning to get your balloons right. If you're really going to do your balloon game, get your balloon game right. But then the next thing is they're out front. They're engaged, they're bought in, they're tuned in to the call center, so they know the appointments that are coming in. They're excited. They have a talent level that most people don't have. When we talk about Kurt, you talk about Joy, you talk about Chad, when they're in the room, customers are going to respond differently than the salesman that's just, hey, gotta help you. Yeah. So being engaged in selling the event, selling the big deal, because it is a big deal. Just the enthusiasm is the biggest thing. Being totally bought in to the concept of a big sale is going to make all the difference in the world.
Well, by the way, do balloons talk to you too?
I have.
Just checking.
I've had some strange experiences with balloons.
Plants talk to Billy. Balloons talk to him. He didn't say the balloons talk to him, so I don't want to go there. Yeah. You said you've had some strange experiences. So can you tell us about one?
I tell you what. Now I've been hanging balloons for 25 years, and one morning, now people are going to say this has happened to me before, but I've never seen it like this before. Sometimes you leave your balloons out overnight, and I came to work one morning, Billy Merritt Automotive, and the balloon ribbon was still, it was still, no wind whatsoever. Mm-hmm. But there had been a fog overnight, and just the perfect amount of dew had got on the balloons, and I wish I had a drawing of this. Like, balloon would be here. Mm-hmm. It got just heavy enough so that the balloon was hanging down, like gravity was the other way. It was like gravity was pulling the balloon down.
The string was straight up.
Straight up. It was eerie. It was very eerie.
Sounds creepy.
It was very creepy. If you had seen it, and it was like, I think we must have been going to the auction that morning. So we were there before daylight. We got there, and you go out there in the dark, and those balloons, it's like they were upside down, but the string was straight up.
It was like the Twilight Zone.
It was.
It's funny how those visual effects can be so eerie like that, like lighting, for example, because we're so accustomed to natural light coming from above us. Mm-hmm. That's actually the reason why when you see light sources up underneath people, it kind of creeps you out. So, I think the same thing there. If everything was upside down, that would freak me out a little bit.
It was pretty weird.
When I said Twilight Zone, I've been watching the Twilight Zone, the old Twilight Zone TV episodes. Mm-hmm. Because they're like 20 minutes, and you can watch them on your phone now. Mm-hmm. I used to make fun when I first started working here. I made fun of the younger guys watching crap on their phone. I don't mean at work. I mean like at home. Mm-hmm. They'd be watching stuff on their phone. I'm like, really? You watch stuff on your phone on a screen this big? Now I'm watching stuff on my phone on a screen, this big, just because it's convenient. But the Twilight Zone, what a great show! That was not on our, it's not on our list. I had no idea I was going to bring that up. But what a great show! Early '60s. This thing is 50 years old, And still, I mean, the stories are awesome. Have you ever seen any of the old Twilight Zone episodes?
A few.
I mean, really good stuff. I mean, just really cool. And one of them that I watched just a few days ago, that it just reminded me, of our workplace. I mean, it just did. People like how work has changed dramatically. Even the speech, like some of the words they were using. I mean, I'm not talking about slang. I'm talking about like the way that they pronounce certain things. Like there was an episode. Now we always say, a person, or how we, our text message sound, a person is better than a what?
A robot.
Robot. Okay. In the Twilight Zone, it was robot.
Robot.
That's what they said. A robot. And they said it like 5 or 6 times. So they called it a robot. It's a robot. And I just thought it was funny. And so I was like, I started thinking about it. I'm going, yeah, we're better than a robot. But so now we say robot. So it's just, another word they said was a contractor instead of a contractor. We say, when you had your house built, you hire a contractor. Now they were saying a contractor. So like their focus was on tract instead of on con. So it's just bizarre how,
There's a new way to pronounce China too.
How's that?
China. China.
I thought you were going to say Corona. I really thought you were going there. Smith, you want to add anything before we wrap up the show, dude?
Favorite inspirational quote? I always love this one. It's usually attributed to Thomas Jefferson, but it's actually older than that by some European dude with a last name I can't pronounce. Don't ask, act. Action will delineate and define you. Love that one.
I could have swore he was going to go with I'm after my Lucky Charms. I thought he was going with that, but I guess not. No, that's a good one. That's a good one. Anything you want to add before we wrap up the show?
No, man, it's a great show. I appreciate everybody that's thank you everybody who please like, share, tag a friend, and if you will, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Barb. Thank you, everyone. Mary, thank you all. Appreciate you watching the show.
Cheers. Cheers. Even though mine's gone, but cheers. And Jordan, go Cubs. See you guys. Make sure if you're going to be drinking this weekend that you're not driving. Be safe out there. And same way with the coronavirus. Again, we don't want to blow it out of proportion. Just be safe out there. Have yourself a great weekend. We'll see you next week.